AAA troubleshoot test server. So the multiple customers wanted AAA troubleshoot test server feature, which is supported in other Aruba products like gateways and APs, as well as in our competitors. So administrators can troubleshoot the network access control servers with this AAA troubleshoot test server functionality. So currently we support Radius and then the TLS version of us RARSEX servers. So what does it do? So it sends a dummy user authentication request to the selected AAA test server using the given credentials. Like it will create a test run. So it will use a AAA troubleshoot test server and then the Radius server to which we wanted to send the test run. And then we can specify the credentials for the test run. So the results of last 5 test authentications will be available for review. So it uses log rotation. So when the number of authentication requests exceeds 5, the oldest test authentication results will be removed. The supported authentication types are PAP and then the CHAP. So here is the list of configuration options available with this AAA troubleshoot test server feature, where we can mention the radius server. It can be IP or FQDN, TLS for RARSEC server. We can also configure a non-default port for radius, VRF, as I mentioned, the auth type, and the credentials, username, and password. And it is supported in these platforms in our CX switches. So this feature helps in troubleshooting, and it also a usability feature for the security customers. So it's all following main use cases here. So primarily by sending a dummy request and responses, it helps us fix the authentication problems with the Radius server. It confirms the attributes given by the network access control server for the users, and it can detect problems with connectivity between the switch and then the NAC. So next will be integration with our CNX, that is the next generation of Central. This is one of the another important use case. So to move towards a security first and AI-powered networking, the integration of two primary components is planned. First is the AI operations. So without the need for manual troubleshooting, the integration with AI ops helps in locating and then fixing the AAA issues. Next comes the integration with the configuration validator. So it allows us to initiate a test run after the Radius server configuration. So we can validate whether the Radius server configured is reachable or not, and then the attributes sent by the Radius server. So these main use cases this feature helps us to solve. So let's see the sample configurations here. The first one is creating a test run for the UDP Radius server. So I'm using the default options here. AAA troubleshoot test server, the Radius server option, and then the FQDN here, and the credentials for the test run. So in case of RADSEC server, we'll be using the TLS option. And here's the sample test run for the non-default options as well, where we are giving the VRF auth type as CHAP rather than the default auth type PAP and non-default port numbers. So let's see how we can run the sample test results from the REST as well. So here is the REST API syntax for the post and the sample REST API call. So we have a show command to view the test run results. The CLA is show AAA troubleshoot test server, and then the status, and where we can give additional options like Radius server and then the TLS version of it as well. And along with that, we can also mention the run ID created for the test run. Similar to a CLA, we can also view the test run via the REST calls as well. So here is a syntax for it for the REST get system AAA test servers. And you can mention the depth to identify the exact results of the test run. Let's see one of the sample test run results using CLI. The test run ID will be displayed along with the credentials which we have passed for the test run, and it will display in detail all the attributes sent by the radius server for this particular user created in the test run. So through that, we can easily identify for a particular user what is the list of attributes the NAT will be sending. So based on that, we can validate the authorization results for the user. So it will be easy for the troubleshooting by the administrators. So here is the sample test run results using the REST GET call. So in the CLI, I have shown the access accept record. Here it is the access reject record. So for this test run, the radius server has rejected the user. So it will mention the status as reject. It will not contain any attributes.